Yo, what is up, all you sexy ass niggas? It is Donald Trump, Trump the Donald here. And, well, I'm going to accurately tell you what year you were born and what it says about you. So, the things that was going on based off what year you were born. Yes, me, Trump the Donald. I'm going to exactly and accurately tell you. So, don't get butthurt based off this. I'm going to tell you the real truth based off what year you were born. And if you're a dinosaur like me, your age probably isn't even on this, right? Like I am. I was born in '65, so I'm not even gonna talk about those years because more likely you're not gonna come across this video. So if you happen to be born in the '60s like I was, then I don't know what to tell you, bro. But your age isn't on this. So without further ado, baby, let's get into the video. So at first I was thinking about just doing all the 1980s to 1990, but then I was like, nah, let's just start off because more like 81, bro. Like you're not watching this video more likely. So I'm gonna start off at 1984 to 1990. Okay, so this right here, bring it in, bring it in. You are officially Unc, bruh. You are Unc status right here. Like you're like the uncle now, bro. You know me, I'm like, you know, grandfather mode. Being in the '60s. But you, bro, you're Unc status now. This accepted now. Everyone's gonna call you Unc. If you're between this age, you've seen a lot. Like you've seen, you probably had the MySpace. You had like the first like Nintendos and things like that. Okay, maybe not the first Nintendo, but you had the old school systems. You played these systems like when you were old enough. You wasn't like little boy or nothing like that. So yes, 1984 to 1990, bro. You seen a lot, man. That's why you're Unc status now. Like you were literally old, pretty old when 9/11 happened. That's kind of crazy. And if you're like from a different country, you probably don't really know. It probably didn't really affect you like that. But you knew about it more than likely if you're from a different country also, especially like the United Kingdom or stuff like that. So not only did you see it a lot, you also possibly if you had a console or something, you played the PS1, the PlayStation 1 in its prime. Even the PS2, you played both in the prime. Maybe if you were like 90 or something like that by the time like the PS2 came out, you were like just old enough maybe because I think like the PS2 came out like 2000 or something like that. But you definitely played the PS1 if you're like 80s, 84, 85 stuff like that. You was able to play literally the PS1 and PS2 in its prime. That is crazy, bro. That's why you're Unc now. Did I mention the GameCube? You also played the damn GameCube, bro. Like that is insane in its prime. Think about that, bro. So I didn't want to spread the years up by only like 4 years because then this video is gonna be like fucking like 2 hours long or something. So I'll spread them out, I think, decently. So we're gonna go with this one, 1991 to like 96, 97. So if you were born in this time frame, for the most part, depending on who you were to ask, this is probably the peak right here. You've seen a lot, like you've seen a lot of stuff's like changed like drastically. So if you were from 91 to 96, 97, you were part of like the Soldier Boy era. When Soldier Boy was big, when you was cranking that Soldier Boy, you was outside maybe doing your Dougie. Um, because you were like in your maybe middle school, maybe late middle school, high school time frame. Around this time, depending on like what specific year you were actually born in, but all of this is like grouped together. So you were outside when people were still wearing like the big t-shirts, the big jeans and stuff like that. And then you also seen the stuff change from the big stuff to the skinny jeans, the skinny jeans and the swag era. You seen that era, and I Love Boobies, the little zoomy bracelets and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, the people after that also seen it depending what year you were born, but you were like really old enough to remember all of this stuff. You were like middle school, a little bit more developed than the years after this that I'm going to describe later on in the video. So yes, you was outside cranking your Soldier Boy, getting your Dougie. You was also playing your Xbox 360, maybe the first Xbox, the PS3, things like that. So you were a part of that era. Most people would probably say probably one of the best eras to probably be probably be born in, kind of thing, because that was a good time. You guys was out jerking with your skinny jeans. You got the flannel on. You probably was shuffling. Can't forget about the shuffle. The dubstep probably was starting to become like a little bit, you know, pretty cool around that time. You had the dubstep, the techno, techno, techno. You had the techno. Come on, man. So yes, I would say these years right here, you're probably that's like very elite right here. I can't lie. I'm just being honest. Me being born in the '60s, I can't lie. Looking from the outside in, this was elite right here, man. Not even to mention, you were depending on like what specific year after this. If you were born in this time frame, you seen stuff literally go from you were old, like say you was deciding you were growing out 18, 19, 20, 21. It's time to move out. You were like the last part of the people that was able to actually move out and be like and afford the stuff easily with like a regular job. Nowadays, you gotta have like some crazy high paying job depending where you live in order to live by yourself in a decent place. So if you were born between these years, you also seeing it go from damn, like this stuff is affordable to actually move out at 18, 19, maybe 20, 21 years old to yo, bro, you don't have a crazy great job, bro. You're cooked. You're gonna need some help out here. I think I said 97 on the last one to 90, whatever those. So we're gonna go 97, really 98 to 2002. So these years, you're like last of the elite. Maybe we could sneak 2003 in there. Maybe pushing it is 2004, but really 98 or 97 to 2002 or 2003 is like the last of the elite. If I'm being honest, these if you're born after this, I'm sorry, bro. You're not part of the elite. You're just here. I'm sorry to break it to you. So if you were a part of this, you seen like peak music, like the last of the really really decent music. And I'm not saying people don't make decent music nowadays, but for the most part, I mean everybody. If you were around this time, you were old enough. Everything was a banger, like everything, from the stuff Drake was dropping, the weekend was coming up. Depending on what else you listen to, yes, you was just part of that last era. Even you were a little young, but you were still part of that swag era. You might have been like 7 years old, jerking and shit like that. Seven, maybe eight, nine, but you were still a part of that. You probably had the PS3, depending on how young you were. Maybe the Xbox 360. You were still able to play like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. You were really you had to be very very young, but you still was able to play it. If you were brought up in these years. Anybody after this, for them, you don't know anything about this. Like I always see a lot of people born in 2005, like, oh, I missed the Black Ops 1 days. I'm like, bro, you were 4 or 5 years old, bro. Like the odds of you playing the game actually around that time is probably slim to none. And also, you were born between these years. You were in high school still at a decent time. You went to middle school at a decent time, because after this, I don't know what the hell happened. I think after that, it's like we're gonna get into them. We're gonna get in their ass. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get in their ass also. But whoa, no Diddy. Yes, you were in a decent time. Well, maybe you were like 2002. And for high school, you like missed out on, maybe, I think that's depending. You probably had like the COVID or whatever like that. But for the most part, you still had a decent time. Maybe that one year messed you up, but it's not as bad as the other generation I'm going to get into. And also, how can I forget the summer 2016, 17, and 15, even 14? You were brought up around this time. That's why I said when music was like last of the last really really elite music, where people was just pumping out bangers after bangers. And this, like, you go to a party and like certain songs is playing. You were still, you know, brought up in that era. Now for these TikTok marasukas, we have 2004. Let's go 2004. Let's go five, right? I know if you're watching this, you're probably four. You don't want to be lumped up with them. Well, sorry, bro. For the sake of the video, you're gonna have to be lumped up with them. So let's go 2004 to 2009, 10, bro. Now, it is very, very possible you were like, oh, fire, you're probably like, yo, we were doing the same thing 2002 was doing. But yeah, but not quite. You wasn't really there, honestly. if like 2002, that's 3 years, but them 3 years is pretty big when you were a little younger. So for the most part, you're not really with them. So this era, we call this the TikTok era. Now I know, like I said, you're probably like, bro, we was in high school in 2002. What do you mean? Hey, look, when they were about to graduate, bro, you were like freshmen or coming into high school. So that doesn't count, bro. You were too young because this switch around this time was so huge. It's crazy. So yes, the TikTok era. This is the people you will find that love listening to Yeet. They think Yeet and Playboy Cardi are like the best artists ever. Like okay, Cardi been around for the other years I listed, like when he was in his like when he was coming up, like when he was making real music, right? But after that, like if you're talking about some Playboy Cardi's one of the best artists, like if he been dropping bangers after bangers, we're like, bro, you just like some emo TikTok kid. You know, that's why I said the TikTok generation. You also think wearing big and baggy clothes is like something new, like if your generation started it, when the people before that literally was doing that well before you were like out of diapers. So like you're one of those people. That's why I said you think being emo and fake mysterious is like so cool. Like oh, I'm the next Playboy Cardi, and like things like that. Or a lot of you guys nowadays, you guys think you're NBA YoungBoy for whatever reason. Like you guys think you're like some little thug, some black little little thug guy, and you're not that, bro. So you guys think all you guys slang is just straight from TikTok and you know YouTubers. Well, not even YouTubers, but like Twitch streamers, Kick streamers, and things like that. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, right? But that's all you guys are known for. TikTok, 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 and TikTok, and TikTok. And nowadays, common sense isn't common, but it is very uncommon for the TikTok generation. Trust me. Go outside and see it for yourself. And the way it's looking is you're gonna be the AI. You know the crazy ass AI stuff that be going on, AI music. I even see like AI generated videos now where like something that never happened. Like when two people could literally be dapping each other up, and then somebody with AI and like edit the video, and now all of a sudden they're like kissing and like sucking each other off. It's like what the hell is this? Like so, if this keep going down this road, you guys are gonna be, which is pretty cool, AI. But the TikTok, and AI, bro, that's gonna be your generation right there. And I know if you're like an outlier, you're like, man, I don't want to be lumped up with them. I'm not like that, and I was born in this year. It's okay, man. It's alright. I understand your pain. Having to be brought up with them TikTok models. So guys, I fully understand your pain, man. Well, maybe I really don't understand your pain because I was born in the '60s, but I understand your pain, and just watching it from the outside looking in, it is pretty ridiculous. I would be pretty angry if I was you, also. So don't worry. And the funniest part is I'd even get into like the old shows like Adult Swim, um, Nickelodeon, and things like that. I'd even dive into that. If you were born after, I'm sorry, after 2003, maybe after 2004, you don't know anything about that really. Like you don't know about the OG Nickelodeon, the Adult Swim, the Robot Chicken days, the Boondock days. You don't really know too much about that. You might say, I do know, but you watched it like by the time you got older. You didn't really see it in like peak, you know, or even like the ESPN days, ESPN. Who remember waking up in the morning before you got to go to school, or even the Beyblades? Who remember the Beyblades? Now you're a real OG. You remember the Beyblade days? Those were the days, man. Beyblade, let it rip. Hell yeah. I remember having my kids, play with the little Beyblades. It was like the coolest thing ever, and like the Pokemon cards and stuff like that. Even the little like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And if you made it to the end of this video, if you heard anything like throughout the video, I'm sorry. It was my Frenchie. He haven't ate in like four years or something like that. So he probably was like making noises and stuff. If you do hear it in this video, so yeah, don't don't pay attention to that. Yeah, he haven't eaten like 4 years. We're gonna give him some food. Maybe never. Who knows? Yo, so with that being said, that's the end of the video, my niggas. Comment down below what year you were born. I know it's a couple things that I missed. I just didn't want to make the video too long. So yeah, if you want more videos like this, maybe story times, maybe just random videos and talking about certain things, talking about different topics. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and stay sexy, my niggas. Donald Trump signing out. Peace.